Good evening and thanks for joining us. This is CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. We begin tonight with the aftermath of Hurricane Irene. We have team coverage of the storm cleanup beginning in Greenbell. Well, Governor Martin O'Malley says more than 500,000 homes are without power in Maryland, and the restoration process could take days. Prince George's County is no exception, where thousands of Pepco customers are still in the dark. Natalie Wilson starts off tonight with that story.
Well, Hurricane Irene didn't pack quite the punch that people were anticipating, but that certainly doesn't mean she didn't do damage. The key word here in Prince George's County right now is power. There are still thousands of people in the dark, and we're in this Greenbelt neighborhood, and I want to show you something just for a second. This right here is actually a Fios cable that came down during yesterday's storm that is lining on this metal fence. You can see the caution tape still here. And it's actually intertwined with some power lines right next to these homes. Now, people inside here are still without power at this moment, and they tell me what it was like when this transformer blew. They say they didn't know what it was, but they knew that something was wrong.
All we heard was like a big crash, and we thought it was a tree. And then we just saw blue, I guess the transformers were blowing.
The Mangino family was inside their home when these power lines came crashing down just a few feet away, causing them to lose power for what is now more than 12 hours.
So my husband, who is a PG County firefighter, just told us to get dressed to get out of the house. So we did. The fire department was called. They just came and checked it. But yeah, we thought definitely a tree was falling on the house.
But it's rough. You know, try to go to bed at night, no air conditioner, and, you know, can't cook. Can't make my coffee in the morning, but we're trying to survive. It's all we can do.
And they are not alone. Pepco crews have been dispatched throughout Prince George's trying to get thousands of customers out of the dark.
Today, about 31,000 customers out. Yesterday, this time, that number was almost triple. So we've been working nonstop since the storm abated about 36 hours ago. So we're cautiously optimistic that we'll get as many of our customers back today so we can try to slowly close this door.
Hurricane Irene was downgraded as a Category 1 to a tropical storm, barreling its way from as far south as North Carolina to New England, leaving at least 28 people dead. In our area, officials say Prince George's was hit the hardest, evidenced by outages at traffic intersections and in homes.
Areas that were closest to the track of the storm got the most severe damage. So we're finding here in Prince George's County, particularly south and east, a lot of damage.
And as crews work to make more progress by this evening, families like the Manginos are just staying patient. So guys, what's it been like not having power? Has it been bad?
Yes.
Really? Why do you say that?
It's boring.
What about for you, Jordan?
I love it.
You do? Why do you love it?
Because I like the power out.
Now, we really want to stress to our viewers that these are actually dead wires. These are not live wires. If they were, we certainly wouldn't come as close as we are to them. Meanwhile, if you encounter down wires, please, please, please don't go anywhere near that. Leave that to the crews. And if you want the latest updates on power outages in our area, you can get that information at pepco.com. Meanwhile, I'm going to toss it back to the studio where we continue our Hurricane Irene coverage. I'm Natalie Wilson in Greenbelt for CTV News.
And in wake of the damage, members of the Maryland delegation are asking for a disaster declaration. If granted, the state would be eligible to receive federal recovery dollars. Meantime, residents are reminded to treat streets with traffic outages as four-way stops.
Well, Hurricane Irene is gone, but won't be forgotten for a while. Our crews drove around today to see the damage firsthand. CTV's Sonia Srivastava has that part of the story from Upper Marlboro.
Well, what a difference a day makes. The sun is out. It's absolutely beautiful out here. But just a few hours ago here on Water Street in Upper Marlboro, you could not cross this road. It was completely flooded. But as you can see, the water has now receded.
The pedestrian walkway was closed off this morning on Water Street in Upper Marlboro, and you can see why. These tree branches indicate just how high the water got during the storm. It was downright dangerous at times as we watched residents walk right alongside cars. Some of the folks we talked to say they parked at the equestrian center this morning to go to the courthouse, but decided to walk back instead of waiting for the shuttle.
I'm happy it at least opened up now, but once again, they didn't have any signs telling us that, so I've been standing at that bus stop for 5-10 minutes, but I could have came on and walked on down.
Yeah, well, in the morning when you came through, was it all flooded?
Yeah, well, it was bad because, too, they had, like, that road cut off, but nobody knew it, so you had to get back on the road to go to the equestrian center and park. And then they didn't even tell you couldn't walk down here, so then you had to go back to your car and catch the shuttle. So
As we drove around today, we saw branches on houses, debris everywhere, but also found residents who were grateful it wasn't worse.
See, we set up on a hill, so I wasn't too much about the water. The earthquake was scared me.
Yeah.
In Landover Hills, this 100-year-old tree was toppled by strong winds and came down early Sunday morning. The tree crushed several cars and caused wires to come down. At one point, the engine of one of the cars caught fire, but luckily it was put out quickly.
We had a full house here at the Fire Services Building, a combination of the Fire and EMS Department's Operations Center, as well as the County Emergency Operations Center. About 2:30, there was a loss of power. Our generators kicked in, and we had heard this noise, so everybody came outside to take a look. And what had occurred is, with the amount of people here, parking was at a premium, and they were lined up and down the 6800 block of Webster Street, which leads directly into the Fire Services Building.
Public Works crews have been working hard to clear debris and storm drains.
We have had several roadways that are closed. At this point, we have 26 roadways that are still closed. They're closed because we have to wait for the utility companies to come cut the live wires so that we can then cut the trees and remove the tree debris.
Now, majority of the residents that we've spoken to say they feel lucky that we didn't see as much damage as some of our neighboring counties and are certainly thankful for that. In Upper Marlboro, I'm Sonia Srivastava for CTV News.
We're told the city of Laurel has arranged for a special debris pickup tomorrow. Residents can call 301-725-0088.
Your drinking water is safe. That message from the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission. WSSC says its 2 filtration plants are operating fully despite this weekend's storm. The agency did lose power at pumping stations and treatment plants, but representatives stress this does not affect the drinking water. Electricity was restored yesterday evening, but it's estimated that about 4.3 million gallons of sewage overflowed while the plants were without power.